Good morning and welcome to today's community chat. Today it's all about the Virginia Arts Festival. They have announced their 2024 season just today. So we're getting the scoop right on this Friday morning with director Alli Pereira of Virginia Arts Festival. And she is with the Public Relations team and she knows everything about every show that's going to happen this season. And she's laughing because she knows that she knows everything about what's happening this season. She's been with us before, so you'll recognize her, when we did shows before during their 2023 season. So I'm going to bring Alli on. Alli, thank you so much for being in the studio with me today.
Hi, Sarah. Thanks for having me back. It's such an exciting time at the Virginia Arts Festival. We always love to sort of sing from the rooftops all that we've got happening in the spring so that you can start planning and purchasing holiday gifts for folks if you haven't already. I think people are big on experiences, not things these days, and so we're really stacking our calendar for the 2024 season at the Arts Festival.
Absolutely. I mean, and just looking ahead, it's such a great opportunity, whether it's for students or for community members here in Norfolk, and as you mentioned, for all of your festivals last year, for people to actually come into town and visit.
Yeah, and I think I'm glad you brought that up too, because education is a big piece of what we do. It's a big pillar of our mission. A lot of the artists that we're going to talk about, when they come to town to perform, they also have an education component to what they're doing. So they'll go into the schools, they'll lead master classes, we'll have lots of student matinees, especially with a lot of our dance groups and classical musicians. So it's sort of twofold, because we have these beautiful public-facing performances, you get to hear world-class artists, but while they're here, they're doing more than just performing. They're really meeting and mentoring local area school children, which is really
and
awesome.
as everything sort of feels like it's growing art-wise in Norfolk and Virginia Beach and and around the area, I think it's really just a highlight, to have all this programming for you all this upcoming year.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. This will be our 27th season, so it's exciting in 2024 to be able to sort of look back at where we've been. And Rob Cross, who has been our leader from the beginning, it's a testament to his relationship building that he's able to, introduce new artists to our area, but then bring back sort of our festival favorites that we bring here year over year. And he, a shout out to Rob. He just won a big award this week. So the Civic Institute for Leadership gave him the individual Darden Award. So congratulations to our leader, and it shows, because he's really booked an incredible season. Just to sort of list off a couple of highlights, we're bringing back Dance Theater of Harlem. We're going to have Martha Graham Dance Company come and perform. It's that company's 100th anniversary season. They haven't been here in what feels like a decade, so it'll be nice to have them come. We're reprogramming what was supposed to take place last year. Mandolinist, virtuoso Chris Thiele will be here to perform with the Virginia Symphony in a brand new work that he's created in the last year. And then a big highlight for us will be jazz vocalist Samara Joy. And she's a big deal. She just won the Best New Artist Grammy in 2023. So we've got a lot of Grammy Award winners, a lot of Grammy nominees happening, but Samara is sort of one to watch. She's having a moment. She just came out with a Christmas album. Just thrilled to have her at the Sandler Center in the spring. I'm just sort of going down my brain, like what? And then you see on screen, Adrienne Warren is another name that our area will know. She grew up here. She was a hurrah player. She was a Governor's School for the Arts student, and she most recently, won the Tony on Broadway. She originated the role of Tina Turner in Tina the Musical. So she's coming here to do one night only at the Attucks Theater, just as Adrienne. So not as a character, just the talented, our sort of our hometown celeb. We're thrilled to have her as part of our season. And of course, we'll have Olga Kern, who I know, Sarah, you got to know this past October when she was here performing. She curates our chamber music series, so we'll have Olga here with us. It's just
and just
special.
Want to say about Olga, I mean, speaking with her was incredible. Just hearing about the feats that she does on the piano and everything, but her energy and her entertainment, which I'm sure carries over to her performance on stage.
It's spectacular. I mean, you sort of hold your breath while she performs. There's so much drama and passion and enthusiasm. And that translates too in how she curates our chamber music series. So the chamber classical artists that you'll see, many of them, Olga has brought to our attention at the festival. So she'll sort of introduce not only us, but the area to some of these artists that we might not otherwise have known or have met.
Absolutely. And, to anyone watching right now, you're seeing the announcement on the screen. We're also going to be playing some B-roll as we chat about what's to come. So if you have any questions or if you just want to note which one you're most excited for, please let us know. And you will be able to find out more, I guess, as we're talking about specifics. If you're curious and want to go online, virginiaartsfestival.org.
Yeah, vafest.org is our website. We're also rolling out the next couple of days on our Facebook page. You'll see the Facebook events start to populate. We'll be sharing a sort of a highlight video here soon, hopefully over the weekend. So the next couple of days, just in time for that holiday shopping season to really pick up. I think concert tickets would be an incredible, gift for your friends and family. You're seeing on screen an act that is new to the festival this year. They're called the 360 All-Stars. And so they're sort of like urban circus is how they market themselves. But there's lots of street, there's break dancing, there's acrobatics, there's some just impressive sort of stunts there. So they'll be at the Roper Theater in the spring for us. Happy to have just sort of a family. I think the kids will get excited about that one. I know my 2-year-old's going to be in the audience watching with wide eyes.
So active. Look at all those tricks they're doing.
It's going to be something
and
special.
I think that's something to say, for people watching too. The programming really, it's not just one size fits all. You also do try to sort of hit all of the genres, whether they're contemporary or more traditional.
Yeah, that's so true. There's something for everyone in our season, and I think we encourage you to find one of the unique and unusual acts, because we'll present the big dance companies. We'll present, obviously, the Virginia International Tattoo is our big signature event. We've got our anchor events, but what I think we do really well is present all the different genres. We're not sort of a one-size-fits-all. We're in different venues, different cities, and all different genres. Here's the marvelous Martha Graham Dance Company that you're seeing on screen. This is, like I said, their 100th anniversary as a company, but this particular piece, Appalachian Spring, the music won a Pulitzer Prize. This is the 75th anniversary of this particular piece, so you'll get to see that. It'll be really special. This is one of, not to call Rob out, but this is one of his most favorite dance companies of all time. So thrilled to get to see them in the intimate Sandler Center. I mean, what a perfect venue for dance. So we're happy to have them here, and they'll spend some time with students, and it'll just be a really special dance company to have as part of our strong dance lineup. We typically do 3 to 4 dance companies a season. So outside of Martha Graham Dance Company, I mentioned Dance Theater of Harlem. We'll also have Collage Dance Collective, and they're sort of an up-and-coming company out of Memphis. They work closely with the Dance Theater of Harlem often. So we're happy to have them here in March, doing some outreach with the Governor's School students. And there's a dance festival happening in March that the timing worked out, and so they'll be here that week. And the fourth dance company that we're presenting is called Step Africa. Step Africa celebrates sort of the traditions and the history of step. So there's a lot of storytelling throughout that particular performance, where they'll be telling you how step came to be, originating through HBCUs. They're going to do some outreach with the local colleges while they're here, and we're hoping to do some sort of step piece to that here locally as part of that performance. I'm happy to say that the student matinee we're presenting for Step Africa is already sold out. So the schools are excited. So we're hoping that the public will come and check out what the students are going to get to see, because that's going to be something special. They've never been here as part of the Virginia Arts Festival before. So I'm looking forward to that one in particular.
And I don't know, for those watching, if you're catching what Allie's saying, but there are so many different venues that you all perform at and have performances at as well. And can you just speak to that? I mean, that is so important that you're really trying to hit that whole area, not just South Side, not just, some of the, typical places that we hear about in Norfolk, but you really do try to spread.
Yeah, the Virginia Arts Festival, was created in 1997 to drive tourism here in the shoulder season. So, Rob and the team, at the helm in the beginning knew that it couldn't just be a Norfolk Arts Festival, or it couldn't just be a Virginia Beach Arts Festival. It was really going to be a regional festival to drive folks to stay in our hotels and eat in our restaurants. And so over time, we've built this reputation, and we're able to present in the largest venues here locally, but then also some niche churches and some warehouses. I mean, Rob and the team in our artistic department really get creative on programming different artists in sort of unique and unusual venues too.
Absolutely. And then, for people that aren't familiar with the Virginia Arts Festival, I think something, and we spoke to at the beginning, but you all are really hands-on with the community in certain events that you have throughout the spring. Last year, I know that you had that concert truck that sort of was able to sort of just park right there, whether it was a park or a plot, and sort of interact. But you all do find these sort of different ways to spread sort of the performing arts culture.
Yeah, you're right. We're collaboration is a big part of what we do. We often every season we'll partner with, the Virginia Symphony Orchestra is a great example. We'll really we don't try to silo ourselves. So we'll partner with Norfolk State University or Tywater Classical Guitar to get out into the community and to be in front of, all the audiences that exist and to expose them to other events that they might not otherwise have heard about.
Right.
But collaboration is certainly like part of our bread and butter. And you mentioned the concert truck. Hopefully we'll have some even more events to announce in the new year that can help just enhance what's going to already be a stacked season. There's an artist who has been to the festival in different capacities. Composer Jessie Montgomery, she is a violinist by trade, so she's performed years and years ago as part of her quartet, but she's coming in, and we've just announced she's doing a 2-year composer in residence for us. So she'll be working with the area classical music students for the next 2 years. She's programming a piece while she's here with some of her music and some music from some of her favorite composers. She's transitioned in her career onto more of the composer side. So it'll be special to see students learn from her, hear her story, really get to know her, because she'll be here, in the spring and then again in the fall. Back in the spring. So she just did a couple of classes a few weeks ago as sort of the start to her residency. So what a powerhouse to have sort of on our artistic team at the festival. We're lucky.
And that's so unique to actually be able to sort of create pieces. And I know that last year you all did have some unique pieces that you highlighted that were created just for the season.
Yep.
And then I know that Olga too, when she was speaking with me, spoke about some of the works that have been created or, maybe have been featured, at Virginia Arts Festival programming in the last few years, which is super unique to not just showcase things, but have things uniquely made just for you all.
Yeah, that's another, our mission, it has 4 pillars, and one of those pillars is to create new works. So every year or so, we'll commission a dance piece, or in the case of classical music, Chris Thiele, that was supposed to be last year's world premiere new work, but we were sort of the head commissioner on that piece. And that really speaks to the creativity that the team's got, right? For wanting to put new works out there that will then exist, internationally, even sometimes. In the case of Dance Theater of Harlem, who's coming back a couple of years ago in 2019, we commissioned a piece, Passage, and they've put that into their repertoire. So now whenever they perform that piece elsewhere, it'll say, commissioned by the Virginia Arts Festival, and the legacy just carries on. So it is unique and it's special. It's something we're super proud of.
And one thing just to tease, and we don't know the answer to it yet, but one of the first questions I got when I said that we were, speaking about your announcement this morning was, what's on the agenda or what's on the lineup for Williamsburg Live?
Yes. Williamsburg Live is our big, sort of our end to the festival season. You're seeing not Williamsburg Live on screen, you're seeing the King Singers, who's coming here in just a couple of weeks to celebrate the holidays. But thinking ahead to the summer months, at the end of June 21st to the 23rd, we'll come back with Williamsburg Live, just sort of go out with a bang. And that event's really unique in that it takes place outside on the lawn of the art museums in Colonial Williamsburg. So it's sort of the kickoff to summer, we like to say, because we're right there in the heart of Colonial Williamsburg. So we encourage folks to make a weekend out of it, book a hotel room in Williamsburg, experience Colonial Williamsburg by day, eat in the restaurant, shop in the Williamsburg outlets, shop in Merchant Square, and then mosey on over to Williamsburg Live, and you'll hear some great music. Last year, it was a spectacular lineup. We had Kenny Loggins, if you remember, but some past Williamsburg Live artists include, Nora Jones, Emmylou Harris. We haven't quite nailed down who's coming yet because those artists that go on tour haven't announced their summer tours yet. So it's coming soon. Yeah. I'm hoping for, a January, February.
Keep everyone waiting on their toes.
I know. Just save the date because it is happening. We'll just be announcing the artists here soon in the new year.
And I'm going to pull up who you're just talking about, Dance Theater of Harlem on
Dance Theater of
screen,
Harlem.
just so everyone can see a visual of sort of what to expect.
And the beautiful thing about Dance Theater of Harlem, they're sort of family to us at this point, and they're coming in town not just for a weekend, but for an entire week. So they'll kick things off with a community class in Newport News. And on that Tuesday, they'll do a public performance at the Ferguson Center. And then they'll spend the next couple of days with, regional students. And then they'll do 3 more public performances that weekend, including a couple student matinees at Chrysler Hall. So it's like they really embed themselves into the community while they're here. Education is a big piece of their mission too, so we connect in that way with them, and they understand the importance. So in a great way, we'll do some private master classes, student matinees, but then we'll do a couple of community classes, which is free, and it's all levels, and you're encouraged to just sort of come as you are and experience dance, even if you've never danced before. Like, it's a great way to just immerse yourself in the arts and learn something new.
And is this a new group that's coming, or have they come in years prior?
Dance Theater of Harlem has been a big part of the festival for years and years. They come every couple of years, but they're, over time, I think that the relationship has just grown so much that if they know that Virginia Arts Festival is going to be a good partner to them, so they do a lot for us, and we just so appreciate having them. They're also just fantastically talented. I mean, you see on screen just the athleticism and the fierceness of it all. They're just a beautiful company to watch, and so I hope everyone buys tickets to that one for sure.
Absolutely. And then the other, genre that people really look forward to your performances, and I feel like all year long you have them, is the jazz.
Yes.
And that's something that, is on the announcement, but is also something that sort of goes on through the year, right?
That's right. We present the Addicts Jazz Club from fall to spring. And so with the Addicts Jazz Club, every Saturday we take the second floor ballroom in the Addicts Theater, which if you've never been to the historic Addicts Theater in downtown Norfolk on Church Street, you've got to get over there. It's one of the hidden gems of the city, I think, and we program it quite a bit. But the Addicts Jazz Club, we transform a ballroom into a jazz club. So you feel like you're in Chicago, or you feel like you're in New York City. It's really intimate. You sit at little 4 top tables. The bar's open, and John Toomey, who's professor at ODU, professor of music, the John Toomey Trio performs, and there's a different soloist each month. So just about once a Saturday from September to March, the Addicts Jazz Club takes place, and tickets are $25. It's a great way to experience jazz as it was meant to be heard, up close. You're right there. You can see the sweat on the musicians. It's just like a special highlight to what we do in the spring. We're kind of year round at this point at the festival. I think historically we've just been what we existed to do was program the spring, and now we've really grown over the years. So we do the Addicts Jazz Club. We've got the holiday events. You saw the King Singers coming up. We're doing an event on December 3rd at the Harrison Opera House called Coco and Carols, and that is a benefit concert that we're partnering with the Virginia Symphony Orchestra, and all the concert proceeds for that will benefit 4 kids. So what an impactful organization in this community. And so a donor decided to cover the cost so that we're able to donate all the proceeds to that organization. So thrilled to have that on our calendar, and we're hoping that type of an event can be an annual thing.
Great. And then, going into the season, I know that Virginia International Tattoo, that's another fan favorite, especially down here. And you all say, too, that this year's theme, it's 80 years from the D-Day landing and 75 from the founding of NATO. I mean, what a special year to host it.
It's always special. Our producer of the Virginia International Tattoo, Scott Jackson, I've got to get him in here to tell you about the tattoo. We'll turn around in late January and give more details on the cast and which countries are going to be here. But we have announced the theme is a celebration of freedom. And so what Scott does really well is thread some of those stories throughout the performance. So you'll hear amazing music, you'll see some beautiful dancing, and just the whole production value of the Virginia International Tattoo is not to be missed. But then you'll feel the emotion of it all too. You leave the tattoo feeling more patriotic than ever. And I think that's a big sort of mission that Scott's got with our Virginia International Tattoo. So more details to come. One piece of the cast that we're thrilled to get here, they're called Top Secret. And they're sort of one of the most famous bands that participates in tattoos all over the world. So look out for more, but that's my one piece of the cast to watch is Top Secret Drum Corps. They do things that Drum Corps I've never seen Drum Corps do. So they're sort of a tattoo celebrity. So we're happy to have them aboard this year.
And for those who don't know, I mean, it brings in people from not only all over the nation, but internationally.
Yeah.
Different countries come in. So it's quite an event, but you know, just that will lead us into Alli coming back to talk more about specifics.
Yeah, I mean, the tattoo, you're right. It's one of our anchor events every year at the festival, and it's sort of a metaphor for how the world should be, because we've got 6 or 7 different countries here performing together. They can't speak the same language, but they can all play the same music. So it's just a beautiful, look at how humanity should be.
And then another one, and we haven't talked specifically about country yet, but Trailblazing Women of Country, a tribute to Patsy, Loretta, and Dolly. I mean, that's quite...
How fun is that going to be? We've got some soloists performing, just the music of the country trailblazers. That concert will take place at the Perry Pavilion. And if folks haven't been over to the Perry Pavilion, it is on Bank Street in downtown Norfolk, directly across from the Virginia Arts Festival building. So right now, if you drove past it, it's just empty, open grass space. What we do, we turn around in March, set up a huge tent, and program it into a concert space. This is a product of the pandemic. When, venues weren't opening, we wanted to put on a season. So we said, well, I guess we'll just build a venue. We'll build an outdoor tent. Folks felt, more comfortable being outside at that time. But it gained momentum, and it's become a part of our season now. So we'll build the Perry Pavilion in March, and we'll start having concerts there, April, May, and June, one of which is the Trailblazing Women of Country. So a fun way to spend an evening in downtown Norfolk. You're right by Granby Street, grab a bite to eat, and walk over and catch a concert. We're happy to have that as part of our program.
Absolutely. I know you can't name a favorite because everything has gone into it, and you've sort of given us the highlights, and I know that people will be able to see more online. So following this conversation, I'll make sure all this up on wavy.com, linking to everything at Virginia Arts Festival. But is there anything in particular that is either new this year or something that you all are excited about programming? I mean, just to give people an idea. I know it's hard to choose.
It's so hard to choose, but I'm opening weekend of the festival. We're doing I'm very excited. I love Broadway. We're presenting an orchestral, so concert version of Sweeney Todd. And if you don't know the music of Sweeney Todd, it's some of the best, Stephen Sondheim, it's some of the best music from Broadway, from the songbook of Broadway. And so Rob Fisher, who's our director, he's our artistic advisor for musical theater at American Songbook. He's programming that with some Broadway soloists. So the Virginia Symphony will be performing on stage with Rob Fisher conducting, and we don't know which soloists, which vocalists yet, but they're going to be performing the music from Sweeney Todd, and I just think it's going to be a perfect way to kick things off and just to celebrate music. I mean, it's some of my most favorite music, so I'm really looking forward to opening night.
Last year, I think it was Chicago.
Yep.
That was in
Similar,
concert,
yeah.
And so for those that aren't familiar with Sweeney Todd too, what a sort of world-renowned, award-winning performance. So to be able to have a version of that, just here in Hampton Roads, it's quite exciting.
Yeah, we have some creative ideas associated with that, because that's such a fun show. So many quirks to it. But Rob Fisher, he always does a great job for us. So we're lucky we get to have him. He was born in Norfolk. Obviously, he doesn't live here locally, but when he comes to town, it's like he's coming home. So he just another part of the family.
Absolutely. Well, just looking ahead, and I think as people plan their holiday gifts, as you said, or plan their season, I just think it's great to know how many performing arts events, you don't need to go far. You
don't have to travel. You can be right here. And invite your friends and family to come to town in the spring. Stay with you and bring them to a performance and show off our region, because we're lucky we live in a place that we've got so many entertainment options, and we're just thrilled to be a part of that and to present some of these world-class artists right here in Hampton Roads.
And if people want to get more involved with Virginia Arts Festival, I don't know whether that be, I don't know if you all need volunteers or just a part of whether it's being sort of more of a donating member or whatever it is. I mean, what's the best place to sort of just get more involved?
So many different options. If you're an arts enthusiast, if you're not and you're looking for something to do with your free time, please visit our website, vafest.org. We have lots of volunteer usher positions. We often host receptions and need help there. If you want to become a donor, there's those options too. So on our website, there's a quick way to email us and reach out and start a conversation with us. We'd love to have anyone come and be a part of the team.
That's great. And if people want to support maybe the more educational side of it, is that an option as well?
That's completely an option, of course. Yeah. And if you have never been to any of our education performances, I encourage you to, reach out to us, because we often will take people over just to see the magnitude of a student enjoying a performance, or maybe going to a theater for the first time. I mean, some of these students, you just see their eyes looking around, like feeling like they're, in a big city, which they are, but some of them maybe never would have ever had the chance to see a show. So some of that is near and dear to us. So it's something special to see.
And I think you hear, unfortunately, across the country, but it doesn't seem to be the case here, that arts funding doesn't exist in some places. But here, whether it's with Steel Pan, or whether it's with these workshops that you all do, and across the area as well, in different schools and in different districts, it seems that arts is really thriving here.
Yeah. The arts, there's nothing that I think will ever be able to replace live entertainment. I mean, in the age of social media, you could watch anything and everything, but there's something about that feeling of seeing something live and in person that I don't think can ever be replaced.
Well, Alli, thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thank
I don't
you,
know if there's
Sarah.
anything else that you want to highlight. It's, again, and I will put it online, but there is so much, to unpack and sort of look through with this. But is there anything else that you want to speak about this morning? Or
I think keep following us on our social, because as we do, we'll be announcing even more to our lineup in the new year. So when you're thinking about holiday gifts, follow us on social media. We'll be posting some of those behind the scenes things and some of those storytelling moments that maybe you're not able to see and hear about in our just typical advertising. So social media is a great place to learn more about us and to stay connected with us. And we hope that everybody does, because we've got some exciting things in the works still.
Absolutely. Well, Alli, thank you so much for coming in this morning. This is not going to be the last time we talk about this 2024 season, but just so people know, it's here, the announcement has been made, and people can start looking ahead.
That's right. And if you want one of our brochures, reach out to us, because we're happy to send you one in the mail.
Great. And thank you to everyone watching. There'll be more information on wavy.com, where you can find out more about these individual groups that we spoke about today. And as Alli said, just keep updated with that schedule going into the new year. So Alli, thank you so much.
Thanks, Sarah.